Again, great seeing you guys again. We're excited to get started here back on the mountain. It'll be 25 days since our last football game, the longest stretch in App State history. We went 17 days without practicing, but we're excited to get started and welcome ESPN and Arkansas State back to the mountain. And again, we got Mike Golick Jr. and Marty Smith will be calling our game. So a lot to be excited about, a lot of positives here, and we're excited to get going.
Okay, we'll take our first question from Ethan Joyce, Winston-Salem Journal.
Sean, good to see you again.
Hey, Ethan.
Wanted to just ask you a little about health and safety. That's kind of been like the big talking point as far as anything COVID-19 for any athletic department. But also I think there's like a health and safety component as far as trying to get back into a game week and get back into football shape. And so I wonder, what's that like been trying to navigate that since I guess when you started practice again and were able to really kind of start getting things more normal, and just trying to get guys as ready as possible for a game on a pretty short entry.
Yeah, everything we do is about player safety here at App, and through a consultation with Dr. Bullers and Zach Parker and our strength staff, we came up with a great plan. When we were quarantined or we were not practicing, we were still lifting and running in groups of four with a strength coach. We did it on a consistent basis. And then when we came back last Wednesday, I believe it was the 13th, I believe, we actually started a mini camp, and we started really introducing our guys back into playing football. And we had a chance to come in the first day, that first Wednesday, and be in full pads. And we wanted to get them back in pads to see what it felt like to have their uniform on. And then Thursday, we actually played football. We actually had a 40-play scrimmage to try to get their air back. I was concerned about that, but after watching them practice that 40 plays, it was very positive. Our guys were eager to get back and get started. Then we went back into what we call spider pads, and it's just helmets and spider pads, and gave them a day off, let them rest their system. And then we got back into a normal Sunday. Would be Saturday. Yesterday was a Sunday, which is a Tuesday for us. Today's a Wednesday. Tomorrow's walkthrough Thursday, and it's Fast Friday on Wednesday. So I like where we are. And again, not only do we do that, we have instruments on our players to see, how much did they run and how fast were they running, so we can kind of gauge and get a scientific number to where they want to be, that special number.
When they were doing the small group work, I think you said it was one trainer, one exercise staff guy, and 4 players. Is that right?
Correct.
Were they essentially able to do everything besides like the real hitting stuff? And I guess is like getting back to the contact and the hitting really something that you're concerned about? Well,
you can never replicate playing football and just running and conditioning. That does help get to where we want to be. Am I concerned? If it was a young team, I would be concerned. And again, you always have concerns, I guess. You watch college football now, and things that concern you are pre-snap penalties and tackling. And that's something you can't replicate unless you practice football. So last Thursday, that's what we wanted to do, is play football and get back into it. But I like where we are as a team right now. Again, I've mentioned this several times. We have a bunch of guys who've won a lot of football games around here and know what it takes to be successful. And they've done that. And we brought this up in the team meeting a couple of days ago. The Tennessee Titans, they were in kind of the same dilemma we were in. And they go out and they have 2 walkthroughs and 1 practice, and we're able to go out and compete and beat the Buffalo Bills on a short week. So I'm just excited to get started. I like the positive. I'm a glass half full kind of guy. I see positive in everything we do. And I'm excited to play here on primetime ESPN on Thursday night.
Last one for me was there a point in last week where you were trying to figure out when practice would actually start, where you were like, I'd like to at least have a week of practices or so, or if you got a little closer to the end of the week that you might be worried about, actually participating in the game? Like, was there any of that for you?
Well, I think that's always a concern for you. And again, Doug Gillen and I are on a daily basis. We talk about what we have to be successful, and I needed 5 days. That's where we needed to be. That was my cutoff line. But again, we're working it day by day. Again, it's the first time we've had 0 positives, 0 people in quarantine. And again, we test this afternoon after practice. So I've eliminated talking about 3 or 4 days down the road now. It's just get through the day. And that's how my days are going to go, is to be positive in all you do. Be positive with this program. We're doing a lot of great things around here. We've had a small pause in the action, but again, I can't be more proud of our team, our program, where we came from and where we are now.
Thanks, Sean.
Okay, next we'll have David Ware from App State Mania.
Hey, Sean, welcome back to Media Access.
Hey, it's always good seeing you, David.
Yeah. So I'm kind of curious. Look, you had some time off. It's not what you wanted to be doing, but, you know, in trying to make some lemonade out of it, you know, were you able to use any of the time that was now free that you normally would have been prepping for Louisiana and Georgia Southern to maybe go back as a staff and really scrutinize those first, you know, couple, 3 games you played? And I don't know, did it give you an opportunity to go back and spend more time on yourselves, really focusing on that, and maybe give you some insights that normally you might not get during a normal, hey, we got to jam in a game plan and a scouting report and everything during a normal game week?
Well, yes and no. You go from, you know, you play Campbell and you start preparing for Lafayette. And then when that game was canceled, we go straight to preparing for Georgia Southern. When that game was postponed, we go right into Arkansas State. But again, we do a self-scout every Sunday, myself and both coordinators, to see the good, the bad, and where we need to improve. And again, we address this all the time. You know, again, turnovers are something that we can't have on offense to be successful. And even on defense, we've had a really good 3 games on defense, but again, we need to improve on third down and to get off the football field. And we've had some tough conversations, both sides of the football. That's my job as the head coach, is to bring those critical errors out. But again, not much time to look back on things, because again, we went from Lafayette to Georgia Southern to Ark State, and that's just the world we live in right now, and that's where we are.
Well, let's talk about Ark State a little bit. You know, for you on the offensive side of the ball, you know, you're looking at a coaching staff that just went through some change after the weekend. Blake Anderson took his defensive coordinator spot, flipped that to one of the guys on the staff, and took out their passing game coordinator. So, you know, obviously they're in a little bit of a state of flux there. They've been having trouble controlling the running game, which is really your bread and butter. You know, as you approach a team that you see like this that had to make or decided to make a post-weekend change, I know you'll do what you were going to do to begin with. It won't change that. But, you know, having been in coaching for a while, what does it mean when you have a mid-season change like these guys have? And, you know, where are there opportunities perhaps to exploit that?
Well, first, it's never good, in my opinion, because again, I've been in that situation before where people have been let go during the middle of the season, and it's unfortunate because they have families also. But again, Coach Anderson had to do what was best for his program. I don't feel that they're going to be a total fundamental change of who they are in less than a week. So we're going to prepare like it's the same defense, the same play caller. And again, we have to be prepared for something the unexpected. And that happened to me. I think it was Illinois in 2011, I believe. They had a wholesale change on defense, and you come out and they play the same defense, and they just try to get good at what they do. So to answer your question, I think they'll be very similar of who they are, but I'm sure they might have a few wrinkles, a few more blitzes or run blitzes involved.
Last question for me, defensively for App, this is the ultimate kind of strength on strength matchup. Arkansas State's passing offense is, I'm not even sure prolific is the right word there, but, you know, they're up around 385 yards a game. And your secondary has been playing very well all season and is, you know, one of the national leaders on that side of the ball. Obviously, there's more to it than just secondary against wide receivers, but, you know, as you look at the challenge that their offense provides with the way the defense has been playing against the pass, you know, how do you see that kind of playing itself out?
It's going to be a great battle. It's going to be a great challenge for us on defense because they're going to throw the football, and we know that. And we have to find some way to get to put pressure on the quarterbacks with a 3 or 4 man rush, because again, you have to play coverage against this team. If you start blitzing and going cover zero, they're going to burn you for a lot of points. But they call it for the Fun Belt for a reason, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Thursday night, primetime ESPN. So again, someone's going to win, someone's going to lose. And I think whoever takes care of the football and eliminates the penalties will win this football game.
Thanks, Sean.
Okay, we'll go to Kenneth Reese, Watauga Online.
Hey, Coach, good to see you again. So for the most part, what has your days been like over the last 25 days? Has it been just Zoom meetings again? Have you been watching some of the other Sunbelt teams? Kind of in a nutshell, what your day's been like?
Very hectic, just like you were working. Again, we through all the downtime, the pause in our program, we met on a daily basis with our staff and recruiting. We also met with our players. We could do Zooming with our players. A lot more honeydew lists at home. So I was able to get some stuff done around the house. And, and I always say out of bad comes good. And this past weekend, my son had a baseball tournament down in Lenoir. And if it was during the regular season, I wouldn't be able to watch him play. And so I look for all the positives. And I had a chance to watch him play baseball, a doubleheader on Saturday afternoon. And as a dad, that was awesome to see. It made his day that I was there. So again, out of bad comes good, and I look for the positive in things.
Even though you're not starting new like you would at the beginning of the season, it's got to feel like you're starting new in some respects after this 25-day layoff.
Without question. And that's why we kind of went back to a mini camp or an OTAs early on when we first got back, just kind of get our feet under us again. And then we got into normal game week. And but hey, that's college football in 2020. We're not the only program doing this. And again, whoever handles it the best will have the most successful season. So again, our players are eager to get started and ready to play Thursday night.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Okay, next question from Mike Solarti, Spectrum News.
Thanks, Joey. Hey, Coach.
Mike.
You mentioned that you look for the positives. You're a glass half full kind of guy. After a 25-day pause and 2 games rescheduled, postponed, whatever, have you questioned what your glass is filled with right now?
I know what it's filled with, but we won't say that right now. But again, it's one of those deals, guys, that it's 2020 and it's happening all across the country right now. And I've learned, don't take things weekly. You take things day by day. And I get up in the morning time and this is what's going to be in store today. And if I can get through today, we'll worry about tomorrow. And it's been different, but it's been exciting. It'll definitely keep you on your toes.
And with the guys being back together and the week that the ramp up that you gave them, with the practices, the small groups, and then the practices and the 40-play scrimmage, that sort of thing, the eyeball tests show you that the offense or the defense kind of weathered the pause better than the other side, and the concerns that you might have in terms of just getting everybody's timing back, because that's really what is lost in 25 days, isn't it?
Without question, I think all 3 phases weather the storm, and we didn't play in 3 weeks, but on the flip side of things, we're fresh, and we're not as banged up as we normally be in late October. So I like where we are. Concerning things are always going to be: are you in football shape? And that's what we try to get done early on, is to make sure we're getting back in some form of football shape. And you can't replicate that running. You go back, even if you had an all off season, the summertime to practice or to run, the first day of camp, they're going to struggle to begin with, because again, it's not football. By the time you put the pads on and you're running and catching, things go a little bit faster. And but to answer your question, we're going to go out on the field Thursday, and the best team's going to win. And so we're excited about that.